What's been happening, everybody? Welcome to Community Call in August, which is fantastic. Great to have everyone here. Let us know in the chat where you're from. How's the weather? How is everybody doing? We have a great show. We're going to have Simon with us later today. He's here now. Just say hello to talk about some cool stuff that we're looking forward to do. So anyway, we're going to... Oh, I'm running my... Hold on a second. I've had audio running in the background. It was kind of weird. Anyway, we're back. Everything is fine. We see everyone joining in. So let us know where you're from. How's everybody doing? How's the weather where you are? What have you been doing building with Strapi? We'd love to hear about it. And today we're going to talk about a lot of cool stuff. So let me share the agenda with you just so we could see what we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about what's been happening, what's new in Strapi 4.30. Super excited to share what we've done. We're going to talk about roadmaps and updates, what we're working on. We're going to have our community showcase where we're going to bring in Simon. He's going to share some cool stuff with us. I'm really excited. And then we're going to do some Q&A. So let's jump into it. And again, say hello in the chat. Would love to hear from you. And what's been happening? So recently we released an amazing migration stream that we did. So if you're looking to migrate from Strapi v3 to v4 and you're trying to make sense of the documentation and you wanted to get an overview of what that process may look like, definitely check out the migration stream. What I'm going to do, I'm going to share the link with you in the comments here. And so you all can go and check it out. And there's actually just today, we released a blog post summarizing what we did on the stream. So if you're looking to migrate, you have some questions, obviously you can ask him in the Discord channel, which is pretty awesome. But you can also check out the 2 new resources, which is the migration stream that we did if you missed it, and a blog post coming out. It should be out on strapiblog.io. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, super excited. And I see a lot of people in the chat saying hello. Hello, everybody. The weather's great, actually. Nice. That is so awesome. Let's see. Oh, yeah. And here's the blog post. Thanks so much, Desi, for throwing the link in the chat. Great blog post. It's something that I actually still go back to make sure, do I have all the steps covered, what I need to do. Yep. It's too hot here. Yeah, man. Yeah, the weather. And Trisha jumps in and say hello. Colin is here. Great to have everybody here. So we're going to talk about the status of migration scripts, because on Discord, a lot of people have been asking what's the status. Currently, it's an alpha or beta testing, actually. And what I would say, the scripts do exist, and there might be some particular edge cases where you might run into problems, but trying it out and using it, for majority of the cases, it works perfectly fine. And the reason why there might be some edge cases, it really depends on how much customization you did. One of the things and issues that you might run into, if instead of changing your content type names, instead of changing to the admin, you change it in the schema and rename something, that might be a gotcha moment for you. So keep that in mind. But the scripts do work. They're pretty, pretty great tool if you're looking to be able to migrate your version from 3 to version 4 in your database. So definitely go check it out. There's a link here. I'll also share it with you so you guys and girls could check it out. And we also going to release some more videos talking about the migration process. I know a lot of you are looking to migrate. We have that great Discord channel that everybody can join specifically for migration. If you haven't joined yet, definitely go ahead and join Discord. There's so much cool stuff going on. Everybody's super helpful. And believe it or not, it's a great place and probably the best resource to have your questions answered around Strapi. And recently we started to do Discord open office hours where me and Derek and other people jump in and we hang out in open chat. And that's usually happening at 11 a.m. US Central Time. So you might have to figure out what time that is for you. And we're also going to have, starting soon, I'll keep the announcement when I have the exact date set, but we're going to do Strapi Best Practices AMA, where you'll be able to jump in. We're going to have Derek with us. A lot of you know who he is. And we're going to talk about the best way to work with Strapi from the standpoint being a developer. What's the right way to customize controllers or creating routes and what have you. So that's going to be awesome. That's going to be every third week of every month. They'll be really, really cool. We're also going to plan a stream specifically around the migration process, because I know that a lot of people have questions, and it's a really big part of migrating from Strapi V3 to V4. And like I said, the migration scripts are out, and you could definitely start using them. And so let's move on here. And what's new in Strapi 4.30? And so the best thing that came to Strapi is TypeScript. Everybody loves TypeScript. To be honest, I am new to TypeScript, so it's a learning experience for me as well. But if you like to try it out, it's very, very easy. You just run that command, npx create Strapi app at latest, give it a name, --ts, --quick start, and you're ready to go. And I'll quickly, I'll show you a demo in just a minute of what it looks like, and I'll show you this cool feature that we have that will auto-generate types for your content types in your application. But with TypeScript, you get all these amazing benefits: optional static typing, type inference, access to TS features. My favorite is great IntelliSense support. I mean, everybody loves the fact that it auto-completes stuff for you, and that way you don't have to try to figure out what anything is and get access to typed API. So that's pretty cool. And we also released media folders, which is also exciting because a lot of you have been asking for this feature. You want to be able to organize all your folders in Strapi, so you're able to write the file, find the right asset when you need it, and create custom file organizations, and obviously manage files with ease. And that's all we want. If you remember before, it was just this one place with lots of images. Now you could organize it. What a huge time saver. And if you'd like to watch a video, we have this link available. You could check it out. And I will give you a quick demo, but let me quickly throw some links in the description. And first, I'm going to just make sure I don't forget. So I'm going to send the link for the migration database guides. If you all have questions, definitely check out that link. And if you really want to try out, and what I would say, if you're playing with the migration scripts, try it on a test project or some databases that you want to practice with first before you do anything in production. But I threw the links down there so you can all take a look. And let me just share the demo for the media folders. We have a lot to cover, so I'm going to kind of try to move quickly, but I will answer any of the questions that you might have in the chat. And so let's take a look at the comments, by the way. Yeah, everybody's doing awesome. Oh, I love this. George says, Strapi is a game changer. Thank you all for the great work. Man, thank you so much. It means so much for us, to hear all these awesome comments. And believe it, like, the cool part about our community is that we're so open. We always love hearing positive comments, but we also get feedback, maybe of some points of friction that you may have with using Strapi. And so we always listen to you, and we do our best to try to make the changes that we need to make to keep making Strapi the best headless CMS they can be for developers, which is pretty awesome. We have people saying hello from Denver. Hey, welcome, and saying Strapi rules. I can't disagree. I think I agree with you. So let's kind of do a quick demo to see what new features we have. So I'm already running Strapi here, and we'll start going through the application. And I'm just going to show you that I not open localhost. What am I doing? Let me do localhost here. Going to, oh my goodness, I got to log in. The funniest thing, like when I speak and type, I just can't do both at the same time. So I'll probably mess up typing my own password, which, if you're wondering, is monkey123. Don't try it. So here we are in our Strapi application, and we'll take a look first at the media library. And as you can see here, I have one folder. Before, there just used to be photos, and you might scroll forever, but I wanted to organize my photos based on what they are. So this is cuteness, like things that are cute. That's the folder. That's what we got here. And when you click on it, we have kittens or puppies. everybody loves kittens. Everybody loves puppies, I hope. I mean, it's good for the world to support your local kittens and puppies. And if you take a look here, we have a picture of cool kittens. You could filter through it. You could bulk delete, which is fantastic. I'm going to save them here because I'm using these photos in my project. And if we back up, we have our puppies here, which is fantastic. And whenever you're creating something, let's say I want to add a new pet, I don't know, what's a good name for a cat? I guess Boots would work. Maybe make it capital, makes sense. It's type, it's a cat. We're going to add an image. And so you'll see you have your folder here. You have cuteness, and then you pick, is it a puppy, is it a kitten? Well, it's a kitten. We'll just add a similar image here, finish. And that's a very cool way to organize your images in your project. And a lot of you might be wondering, like, how is this stored in, how does it work under the hood? So I'll quickly show you here. So let me go back into, I have too many screens open. So I do want to show this. Where's the Control P, SQLite Open Database. And so this is actually, the relationships are stored in the database. And if you take a look at our database, and I know someone's going to say, make the screen bigger, make it, I will do it, because I want everybody to see visually what is happening. Do you ever have that VS Code problem where you try to go on this line here to be like, okay, I want to move that up so everybody could see it, and it just doesn't do it? That's frustrating. So I'll just do that. So anyway, here we are. And if you look at the upload folder here and we check out what we have here in our database, you see that it gives our folder names, cuteness, puppies, kids that we created, the path IDs, and then it will basically store the relationship of the folders path in the database. So the folder structure is not stored in, it's not in code, it's stored in the database, and that's how the relationship works. So I just wanted to clarify that if anyone had any questions. And then now what I want to do is just kind of talk about TypeScript, because this is running TypeScript. And if you could take a look here, we have our JS config file. I know it's too zoomed in, but we all know the benefits of TypeScript. And so I just want to show you this cool feature. So here we have our schema.d.ts file, which will basically, you're able to auto-generate typed schemas for your content types. And I'm just going to quickly demo this for you so you can see how easy it is. I'm going to delete this here. So we don't need that file anymore, because we're going to auto-generate it again. So I'm going to do this. And let me get the command here, copy and paste, just so you don't have to suffer through me typing. That's, because typing and speaking is really hard. So I'm going to run Strapi, ts generate types, verbose, so we could see what it does. And we'll go ahead and it will generate all of the typing for us, which is pretty amazing that you could do it with one command. That is so awesome. So if you go back into your code, here's our schema file for everything that we need, our content types, all the relationships, and everything that you need in one place. So that is pretty awesome. And I implore you, if you are starting a new project and you haven't jumped onto the TypeScript wagon, go ahead and do that. It's super awesome. I'm doing the same thing. So I'm going to be learning with all of you at the same time, which is pretty exciting. And, I'm going through screens. I'm like, where did my slides go? I flew by them. So here they are. And we have, nice. Is there a depth limit for a number of children folders? That is a great question. I believe there is not, since the relationships are just held in the database, but that's a great question. And we have a couple questions. I'll come back to some of these questions in the Q&A. I do want to make sure that we get through the cool stuff. We have, greetings from Bulgaria. We have Ukraine here. Man, Ivan, I hope you're staying safe. I have some family in Ukraine as well. A lot of us have family in Ukraine. Just take care of yourself. But man, glad to have you on the stream. Super awesome. And so also in we did release 4.3.2, but majority of that was just handling some bug fixes. You could see some of the bugs that we were fixed. So you could see that we're actively working on improving Strapi based on the feedback that we have. And all right. And we did want to do a quick Strapi Cloud update. You'll be able to have your Strapi application fully hosted and managed. You'll be able to create a new project locally and deploy it, scale as you grow, quick and easy deployment, automatic backup, so much cool stuff. And just to give you an update, we are in our alpha process right now and going through the testing. And I'll definitely give you more dates in terms of release when things are coming, when that becomes available to me. But more importantly, what you can go to strapi.io pricing clouds to join the waiting list to get the email sent to you when we're ready. And right now, some of the details are sparse because we're spending most of the time working on making sure that we get all the features that we need, but more coming on that for sure. And what are we focusing on now? So let's check out our roadmap update for Q3. You could see by the squad what we are working on, but the next release we're going to have in 4.40 is going to be custom fields. I know a lot of you are super excited. I think it's going to add so much more power to what Strapi is already able to do. I know a lot of you have been waiting for it. And then we also have API tokens coming out in 4.40. If you're wondering what API tokens are, it will give you role-based permissioning for your content types. And I can't wait for us to have the release so we could all play with it. I think it's going to be super awesome. And so the alpha version for custom fields is expected at the end of August. And token version 2, beta version expected possibly end of August, early September. So definitely keep an eye open. And I just want to say, if you haven't joined us on Discord, go ahead and join. It's a great community. We have a lot of helpful folks there from everywhere, from the team, from the community, all working together. And it's just really awesome place to hang out. And like I mentioned earlier, we started to do daily office hours. I'm based in US, so we do it 11 a.m. Central Time. It's a lot of fun and a lot of great things to come. We're also going to start, just want to mention again, just in case you jumped in late and you missed it, we are going to start, I will post the details soon, I promise, a monthly, every third week, we're going to have Strapi Best Practices AMA, where we're going to talk about what are the best practices of developing your application with Strapi. We're going to talk about routes, controllers, what is the proper way to define them, what is the best use case, because it's true in programming, there's many ways of doing it, but we want to set some standards to make sure that you're all having the easiest and best time developing with Strapi, because our goal is to make sure Strapi is the best thing that you as a developer can use to create a product, regardless if you're working for somebody else, if you're freelancing. I think it's so flexible and so awesome. And so the best time, guest time, we have Simon joining us, and he's been sitting with us, enjoying the stream, but now we get to have him chat. What we're going to talk about, we're going to just quickly go over common Strapi deployment options. And then we're going to talk about the benefits of deploying to Docker. And Simon had an awesome surprise for us today where he's going to do a cool demo, but I'll introduce him and let him take it over from here. So what's up, Simon? Great to have you here. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Melting away in 30 degrees in the UK.
Oh my gosh.
Iran and my time zone, we figured out earlier today that your time zone is 6 hours prior, so your 11 o'clock part would be about 5 p.m. UK time. It solves the office hours, at least for us in Europe.
Yes.
But no, it's been a joy and a pleasure to be back. Thank you.
Yeah, so I know you're working on a lot of cool stuff. You created this amazing Dockerize plugin. Before you jump into it, I just want to quickly talk about some of the common options that people are able to deploy their application. You could use Heroku, you could use Render, DigitalOcean, Amazon, Google, Docker. And these are things that we actually have in our documentation that you could take a look if you have any questions in terms of deployment. But there's obviously other ways to deploy as well. And I want you to talk to us about what you've been working, what's your favorite way, and tell us about that surprise that you were going to share with us.
Right. So a lot of the things, like you said, with all the documentation, it's always a different way for every single, depending on where you're doing. Some hosts will do it in X way, some others will do it in Y way, and that's why I kind of like put myself into using Docker, because it's making the whole project into one file and one folder, and I can put it whatever I want. So it's less configuration, less time. So what I thought I will do today is, for those that have seen it, I already made some new features and changes to the Dockerize CLI tool that I made. So now you can use reset. So if you used it and you go like, oh yeah, no, it wasn't correct, you can call up reset and it will do it. It has CLI inputs. So now you can literally just use all the CLI arguments to it. So you can just create it without answering 100 questions every single time. And then one of the parts when you talked about hosting is I have been using Doku for 3 years now. Somebody introduced it to me. I was like, what is this? This doesn't really make sense. And to me, it's Heroku on your own server. Like literally, it's Heroku on your own server. So a little bit of the surprise is I'm going to use my tool and I'm going to deploy a version of Strapi brand new to just push it out. I'll show you how easy it is technically with less to do. The only thing that I have done is I have set up Doku and pointed my domain to it. That's it. Like that's the only thing I haven't cheated on with doing. But everything else I'll just do on the fly.
Nice.
So yeah. Let's get cracking, shall we? So let's see if I can share my screen. So let's give this a crack. So
here, 1 second, let me make sure that we all see your screen.
See
maybe zoom in a little bit if you can. I think it'll be very helpful for everyone.
We will. My little terminal with bad jokes all over it. Nice. Right. So this is a brand new TypeScript project. Not done anything with it. And to check it out, I can do npx strapi dockerize, and we can say something like if we want to use Dockerize it. And for this demo, we can say that we want the compose file. For Docker, you don't actually need it. So we can say yes. And we do for both. We will use Postgres, put in all the default stuff that we want in, and it's Dockerized, literally. Like, that's it. So it now has created your environments with your database, your production, what you need. It created a Docker file. It created a Docker compose file, a Docker file, and a Docker file prod. So the idea here now is that I'm going to use a little bit of my little terminal output, because I'm not going to spend too much time. This is my technically my server. So Docker itself is running something called Heroku-ish, which is a I'm trying to find the best word for it. It's the underlying platform of what Heroku built. So whenever you're actually deploying to Heroku, it makes a container out of your project, and then it runs it. Hence why the 30 seconds goes out and then dies. So let's start off with doing this. This will just tell it to create my app. So I have 5, 6, 7 apps on here, but I can create this. Hide my super secret monkey password 123, as we talked about.
Password. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Man. So let's see. App. Where did we do? Docker. App. Create. You can never remember all the commands. No. App. Let's do this. This is when you do it live. I forgot to pray to the gods of the list. So not even that. Let's see Docker. Let's see if I can type Docker, and then we say app, and then we say create new. Yeah, create app. It's always those things. It's apps. There we go. That's why. Create, and then we'll say awesome Strapi. Let's see if we want to do it now. So now it created this command, and we can say Docker domain add. Now I tell it that I want this container that I'm using to be bound to awesome strapi.fairytales.dev, which is my domain. And again, it's domains, it's plural, and I never learn. So let's try it again. There we go. I forget it's plural, not plural, and whatnot. So now I literally linked my domain up to it. Now a lot of people with Heroku finds like SSL is always a problem. It's always one of those things. With this one, you can do docu. Let's encrypt, enable some Strapi, and I enabled SSL. Like done.
Oh
Like
man,
that's
Simon,
the command.
can you zoom in a little bit more?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, and you can
There we
maybe.
go. So the whole idea here is that all it does is it added let's encrypt, which is all we need now. Since we are using Strapi, we need Postgres. We need a database. So we can say docu Postgres create. If I can type post create awesome Strapi. I'm just doing this for easy part. So this will spill up a database container with everything I need, like everything local to this part. So use the username password, I'll delete it afterwards. So it doesn't really matter for me. It's the monkey passwords. So once you've done that, you need to link them together because they need to talk to each other. We kind of need those to do that. So we can say Postgres.link, awesome Strapi because that was the project, and on type today, which is the database. So now they're linked together with the database URL, which is kind of like what you do in Heroku. You always add that database URL. So it's the same principle. The next part, I could just copy this in just to save us some time, is as you might have known, we're using 1337 for the ports, but we can't use that otherwise. So we're just telling Docu to map them over to the way we're going to do. And again, it is Docu config ports. Okay. It's always one of those. Okay. Port proxy. I can never remember the commands, so help me out here. Let's see. The only issue I have found out with this, there we go, set, is everything is command line based. So ports, set, and then there we go. Should have tested those before work today. So I apologize for that. 443 to 1337. So it also tells you, because you can have multiple ones, I need to tell it where I wanted to go. Now I kind of map the ports. And then the last bit is the stupid part, and this is some of the security updates that I added into it and stuff. You need to add all the environmental variables. So just to paste something in, let's pray to God this wants to work. All we're doing is injecting some random tokens for every single one. And that's all it did. So the last bits we need is to set the database URL and passwords. This is also from the guide that I wrote. You could use like the parse strings and whatnot to do it. I just prefer to type it all out. So we can say docker config set. Let's see if we can speed this up a bit. Set. And awesome Strapi, and then we say database user name. And this is where we can go from here, which is going to be Postgres. Whoops. Postgres. And we're going to say, let's set this to development for now. And then database host. And this is telling Strapi where to look for the actual part. And because it's just set into the host here, we can do it like so. We need the username, we need the password. Whoops, taking a little time. And again, super secret monkey password. Is there anything else we need? We need the, could give it the port, but it's 5432, so database port 5432. Right, so that should be more or less it. So technically now, in this whole project that we just Dockerized, we can add, we need to kind of set it up first, so get in it, add dot. say init commit, and that should be more or less done. So now I committed it. So normally you could push it to GitHub, and then you can set up an action to do it here. I'm just going to do it manually, so we can see a git remote b. Don't have any, so we can add Docker, and then in here, all I do is I tell it that it's in Awesome Strapi, which is the app that I created. The only thing I'm going to cheat a bit, just because I can't remember the command in the top of my head, is I'm going to rename the branch. Just because Docker always uses a master branch. You kind of have to add an extra colon and stuff just to do it. So it's just an easier way to deal with it. But theoretically, we should be able to just say git push Docker. Because it's Dockerized, it will pick up that it's Dockerized and run the Docker part. So now while it's running, you can take over what you want, but it takes a couple of minutes to set it up. And then it will literally start up the server and it's deployed. So that was what, 7 minutes by typing. So I presume you're going to make that even quicker. But while I'm waiting on it, I don't know if we had any questions and whatnot. We can deal with that while this is just fetching its packages.
No, this is awesome. It's kind of cool to see another way to deploy your Strap application. And I love how it works with, so easily with the Dockerized thing that you created. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I actually never used Doku, so I'm kind of excited to use it. It's pretty cool.
As you can see, because now it returned an error code, and that is because it already failed on the build. So, of course, I didn't pray to any gods to do it. But the whole gist then is, after I would have done the whole thing, it would be ready to go on any domain. So I just did this previously just to test it. So I did one of my apps, and it's, as you can see, just first admin, like done, deployed with SSL and everything you need.
It's awesome. Talk about like the demo gods. Man, the first few live streams I did, everything went wrong. But it happens. It happens. So you did a great job. And I think it's a more important part is for people to see how easily it is using Dockerize to prepare everything and using service like Docker to be able to deploy your site. Someone had a question: does Docker support infra as code or Terraform or something similar?
I'm not sure if Docker supports Terraform. I think it does. I presume we can post out the link later, but there is. I think you can do it. If you can do it, so normally what people are saying with it is, if you can use it on Heroku, you can use it on Docker, and Terraform already has a Docker provider. Excuse me. So it might be easy, but it's kind of like the same thing. You set up the resources, you push it, and done. Like it's the easiest way. So the only reason I found it was the SSL to do with Heroku for me that did it, and I figure out that it must be a cheaper way. I mean, Heroku is free, which is quite cheap, but it has its limits. It's been Google, it's been AWS, it's been Render. There's been there is a bunch of all of them, and for me, it was like I set up a Heroku on a €5 server that cost me nothing. You can do this on DigitalOcean. You can go to docker.com and you can just install Heroku on it, point your domains, and up and running. So now you don't even need a Heroku. You can just push it to your own.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, no, thank you so much for that demo. I think it's very helpful. I'm excited to actually use Docker. I'm always trying to figure out like some great ways to deploy. My favorite place so far has been DigitalOcean. I love it, but it's good to know other options available. And definitely there's so much need for people to asking us how to Dockerize Strapi, how to do it. And you provided like 80% of the work that's done, maybe even more. So that's really awesome. And people could obviously find you on their Discord, always hang out, always helping. And speaking of Discord, can you talk about the community org? I know you're a member. Tell us a little bit about it. Tell us about how people could join, why people should join. I think it'll be awesome.
So currently now we're about 5-6 founding members. We just had 2 recent members joining in. So a big shout out to those. It's been, let's say it was Blus and Kevin, both of them. So a big shout out to them. They joined in. I think Kevin is working with Eric on a project for the community, whatnot. Nice. We are on GitHub as well. And then Blus has taken over the Jenkins build that has to do with it. So that used to be part of like Strapi and whatnot, and then when it was with 3, and he's currently moved it all over to 4. So he's kind of like maintaining this. So if you have a plugin that you want to build and you're looking for people to help you maintain it in that way, then this is the place to go. The only thing that people are asking is that try help other people out as well, right? That's why we are a community. So we are like a community within the community. We are the ones, as many businesses have, we're like the community itself that helps the community. So it might be there's been discussions around all the documentation and whatnot, and some of us have discussed if we wanted to try help out with the Strapi documentation with like an unofficial documentation, but that's been one of those discussions that we don't know yet if it's going to be anything to do with it or what we're going to do. And it's we kind of like the leadership within the organization work closely with Strapi, but we technically don't have anything with Strapi to do in that way. We're independent from them. So yeah, it's a great place. You find us on Discord, you find us on GitHub, and we'd love to have you. So if you're a developer and you have a cool plugin, come and say hello. I think the channel is Code General. I think it's called Code General. I think it's come and say hello to us. Show us your nice plugins.
Yeah, it's awesome. You could go to GitHub Strapi-community /community. But Derek was pointing out, I have a friend here coming to say hello. She always loves the live streams, but she loves to sleep on my keyboard. So if something weird happens, you know what it is. I just wanted to preface that. She's like, let me go. I want to mess around with your keyboard. No, that's really awesome. And definitely join the community. It's pretty cool. And also, I know I mentioned it many times. If you're not a member of our Discord community, like you have to go and join. So much great stuff here. We're constantly listening to everybody's feedback. We're working on a lot of cool things. Like I mentioned before, we now have office hour where I'm spending time in open chat. People able to come say hello. Derek joined us for a part of it. It's I might have confused the time and because of the time zone difference, but I believe it's 12 p.m. Central Time. I'll put in the chat the exact time just because everybody's in a different time zone. But definitely you'll see us. If you're on Discord, you'll see me in the chat. Just go ahead. And then we're also going to do Strapi best practices every third week of every month, which is going to help you as a developer to get a deeper understanding what are the best practices when creating custom features in Strapi, like how do you write custom, controllers, services, or policies, or how to apply middleware correctly. And I think it'll be really awesome. It'll be really cool. So keep an eye out on that. And now what I want to do is I do want to showcase some of our awesome things built by community. And I'm sure everybody knows. Everybody's got to know. And I don't even know why I'm saying I'm not sure. Everybody knows we have Strapi Marketplace. If not, definitely go check it out. And this is the coolest part about Strapi Marketplace, because Strapi is so customizable that allows you to add additional features with plugins. And this is really cool. So you could go ahead here, you could check it out. And the two plugins that I chose that I wanted to show here today, and I wanted to show the Transformer Strapi response done by Comfort Decoding or Daedalus. If you see him on Discord, definitely tell him, man, this plugin is so awesome. And it exactly sounds like what it does. It's a transformer that transforms your API response. And I'll do a quick demo of that in just a minute. And the second plugin I wanted to show you, it was going to be a different one, but I wanted to show you this one, duplicate button, because I think it's pretty cool. It allows you to quickly duplicate your content, which I'll also demo for you. I think that's like pretty exciting. So let me go back into my Strapi app to make sure it's running. Fantastic. And so if we look at my, I always get lost. Config plugins, I have those two plugins available. I have Transformer, I have Duplicate Button, and notice right now Transformer is set to false, right? And I just want to show you why. So it's not enabled. So when I go to get, let's say, the pets and I send the request, let me zoom in more, not be obnoxious. So notice how we have, and I should have done more nested. Actually, Let me see here. One second. Where's my response? I think we have like users here as well. Let me just populate all just to make it better. All right, here we go. This is a much better example. So notice that we have our nested structure. We have the ID, we have attributes, that we have all the attributes, we have ID attributes, and it repeats. And there's a reason why we did this, which we'll talk in length. Actually, tomorrow we're going to have an amazing stream. I'll tell you more about it in just a minute. But notice how we have a specific response that we're getting. And maybe you don't want to have the way your front end consumes your API. You don't want to have the attributes. You want it to be a little bit more flatter. So you could enable this plugin. So I'm going to go here and type true. If I knew how to spell true. And then make sure that I probably stop my server. Nope, it's restarting. Fantastic. So everything works. So now when I pay attention here, attributes, when I run, where did my button go? Send.
I guess you forgot to pray to the gods as well.
No. I pray a lot. Probably not enough. You're right. But man, listen, I'd be surprised if I do a demo where something doesn't break. I'll be like really surprised if that happens. But notice now we don't have the attribute field, so we don't have to dig that extra additional level, which I think is kind of cool. And the cool part is not the fact that this is what the plugin does. The thing that blows my mind is the fact that somebody could come in and be like, hey, I want to add this specific functionality to Strapi. And they could make a plugin and do that. And that is awesome. And there's a great question. Somebody asked, does it support GraphQL? Not at the moment. But it's a good question to ask. And we are thinking about that question. I don't want to say that, we don't listen to the community. We know there's certain things that in terms of GraphQL on the front end, people want some things changed. So we are definitely thinking about it, and we'll talk more about it as the time goes on. There's definitely so much stuff to do. And the next plugin that I want to show you is the duplicate plugin, which I think is pretty cool. Because to me, it's awesome. Let's say you have something called like pages, and you have like a standard template, and this is super basic, but you have a standard template where you're like, okay, I have the homepage. I have, this is a homepage, whatever homepage. You might have some components here. You could add more to generate a certain layout. And let's say you have a similar page that you want to have, instead of like having to manually create it, because it's going to be more or less the same. So what you could do is use this amazing duplicate button right here. I click duplicate, and boom, we just duplicated the page. And maybe this is going to be a contact page. I could just, so I don't have to do that extra step of manually creating it. It just saves a little bit of time, so boom, it's a contact page. I save it. Oh, I need to change this slug because it has to be different. Fantastic. And now when I go to pages, notice we have our home page, our about page, and our contact page. Don't forget to hit publish. And so I think that is really awesome. You're able to add additional functionality to Strapi that did not exist. And I think that's so cool. And that's like one of my favorite things about Strapi, is that outside of the core functionality of Strapi, if anybody wanted to add something new or customize it, you could, implement providers, you could create plugins. And to me, that just blows my mind. And this is why I love Strapi so much, is because it gives you so much flexibility. And that is fantastic. And so what else did I want to show you? Before going to Q&A, actually, I did want to showcase our blog. I know a lot of you know that we have the blog and we write amazing articles, either from the team or from the community, but it's such a great place for resources. And so I'm just going to quickly, show to you. And it's fantastic, because literally 26 minutes ago, this awesome article was published about how to migrate from Strapi v3 to v4 walkthrough. So if this is something that you're going through, you want to get more context to kind of see how the migration process works. If you want to kind of get a big picture overview to have more context to see how to properly use our documentation, here's a blog post that I wrote based on our stream. which is pretty cool. You could check it out. But more importantly, there's so much other content written either by us or our community members where you could learn amazing things about Strapi. So definitely use the blog post, not the blog post, but the blog site at Strapi as one of your resources. We put in so much work and there's so much awesome stuff. Even me, I will find some articles of a feature or a thing that I wanted to do that I didn't know how to do. So that's really, really cool. And so let's see here. And I think besides thank you, we want to open for some Q&A time. So let me check, see what questions everybody had here. It's so awesome to have everyone here. Yes,
I saw one from Daniel, by the way, which asked, since you're widely looking, about if the community org could maintain a multilingual translated version of the Strapi docs. I mean, we could, because if you think about it in a way, then anybody can join the community. So instead of have the Strapi team working on one thing, which takes time to update, you have 1,000 other developers that can help out with them. But then you got to bear in mind that the Strapi community documentation, if it went that way, isn't kind of like the official supported way of doing things. Just to add to that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of great questions, and let's see. Is there a way to preview your page in Strapi if you're working with Next.js SSR? I know Next.js has a preview function. That's a great question. I haven't tried that feature. I don't believe we could do that now, but I think that's going to be a great thing for someone to maybe build something that allows us to do that. That'll be very interesting. And then another question, a lot of great questions that I don't have all the answers to, but I do want to bring them up because I'll make a note for next time to know, or maybe someone in the chat knows, will the data import export support internalization? That's a great question. Very good question. And oh, there you go. Daniel's there's a block implementing preview with Next.js application using Strapi backend. Oh, that is fantastic. See, learn something new every day. And this is why I tell you, we have such a massive catalog of things. Thank you, by the way, for sharing that on our website, that there's plenty of stuff. And like I said earlier, there's stuff that I don't even know how to do. And I still use our blog and articles to this day to learn something cool. That is fantastic and really, really cool. So the best place, I do want to continue this conversation on Discord. I know we're right at the time limit, but I do want to say the best place to hang out with all of us is on Discord. It is the place to go to ask questions, help answer questions. Like I mentioned before, we're doing daily open office hours where I'm hanging out literally in chat, that you could talk to me using your voice, which is phenomenal because I love talking to people, if you didn't know. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And we are going to have every third week of every month, we're going to have Strapi Best Practice MA, where you get to discover and learn how to use and implement Strapi best practices when creating controllers, services, etc. I think it's going to be fun, and it will help everybody to get better Strapi development. And it's going to be a two-way conversation because you'll be able to ask questions, you'll be able to look at the code, you'll be able to do a lot of cool stuff and go from there. And there's a good question. Is it possible to add more fields to files in media library? That's a great question. I'm not sure if I understand the context exactly. Do you mean like in the where you have the media folder, add additional data outside of what is already present there? That's a great question. Let me know in the chat. Throw us a link, a comment of what fields you think you would like to see. But at the moment, I think it's the fields that are predefined already. And yeah, and just before I forget, I did want to mention, so thank you, Richard, for helping out. Not at the moment. So it's not possible at the moment. Thank you so much. And I love the fact, by the way, I want to shout out, big thank you to everybody in the chat. Really love the way you guys and girls and everybody engaging with us. And like I said, I'm not the smartest person. I don't know every answer. And this is why I love the fact that we have this community and people from the Strapi team in the chat jumping in and helping out. So I really appreciate all of you. This is fantastic. That's another great question. I was thinking about this as well. Is there any good resource I could reach to learn about data population with nested component and relations for V4? And are you referring from a front end, right? You have a front end application and you want to be able to add data that has nested components up. I think this is really cool. You know what? I'm going to save this because this is something I'm interested in, and I'll definitely let you know what I learn about it. But this is really, really, really cool. And look at that. Compliments all around. It's something like something incredibly smart people say. Or people that are not that smart just want to be honest and set the expectation just right. No, I really appreciate it. But the last thing I wanted to say before we end this amazing live stream, and I always say it's amazing regardless if things go right or wrong, because you are all amazing and it's so awesome to have you here. We are going to have so the title is wrong. It says migration stream v3 to v4. I messed up. It should be differences between v3.4 version v3 to v4. What changed and why? We want to talk about. We're going to have Arlian on, one of the co-founders and founders, and it's going to be amazing because we're going to talk about the limitations we reached with Strapi v3, what changes we had to make for v4, why did we make changes in v4 that we did, why we had to rewrite a lot of the stuff to set a foundation to continue to have implement all the additional features that are still to come in v5. So I think there's a lot of confusion about certain things. It's like, why does the response look like this? Why is this happening? Well, it's because we have certain features that are going to come in future implementations of Strapi that are farther down the road, and we need to do a better job to communicate what we are planning to do, why we're making the changes. So I know we might have not done it the best, but the point of this stream is to help us to kind of clarify some of the things in the air with some of the changes we made, talk about all the beneficial changes in v4 and how we build a foundation to help us to implement all the future features. And I know some of you who've been going through the migration process, maybe you've been like, oh man, this is not as easy as I thought it was going to be. And I'm here to help you with your migration process. So you could literally hit me on Discord. This is something that I'm really putting a lot of work into. And so I want to be there to help you. But at the same time, with that being said, going from v4 to v5 is not going to be this complex or difficult, because we did actually have a huge, significant portion of the core code of Strapi 3 that was rewritten. And so we wanted to make sure that everybody's aware, want to be open to communicate. So definitely, please join us this stream. It's going to be 11 a.m. CDT time. You could also go to the Strapi v3 versus v4 link. Let me just share that link for everyone in 1 second. And that will show you your appropriate time zone, I believe. Yes, and I'm going to throw this in the chat. So 1 second here. Had the link somewhere.
Well, while you throw that into the chat, I found out in my Docker setup, I missed one variable. And that's why it didn't push.
Oh, that's
so I prayed to the goal, and now it's working straight off the bat.
Nice. Man, like while I find the link quickly to throw, I just want to say, I know we're going over a little bit of time. Man, thank you so much for everybody joining us from the community. We really appreciate it. One of the biggest challenges being an open source company and keeping everything in the open is that we are very public, and we see everybody's comments. We see everybody's opinions. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes negative. But one thing I will tell you, everybody here at Strapi is really looking to do the best that we can for the community, for our product. I mean, like, I hope you could feel my excitement for Strapi. Like, I do genuinely love the product, and I believe in everything that the team does. And I do believe that at the end of the day, everybody who shows up to Strapi shows up by saying, what can we do today to make Strapi be the best headless CMS for developers, content editors? And that's is our goal. But sometimes, you have to understand, we, just like everybody else, we're humans, we have deadlines, there's certain things we have to do. And a lot of times, it just takes time. And what I would say with certain things, we definitely need to improve our communication. And this is why I'm openly saying all of this stuff, because I want you to know that you should feel free and feel comfortable coming to us with your feedback. We actually really do appreciate it, especially like, we want you obviously to be respectful of humans, be polite, but we do want to know the honest truth, not from the sake of trolling, but the sake is like, hey, this is something you could do to make the product better. Or if something is confusing of the changes that we made, we want to be able to give you context, and we want to keep the communication open. And it's so easy to get caught up with deadlines. So sometimes we might do something and we might not realize that we didn't communicate our intention as clearly as possible. So we're here. I'm acknowledging on the live stream so everybody knows that this is a priority for us to have open communication, and definitely hold me to it. And this is why I tell you, if you didn't join Discord, go ahead, join Discord, because you could talk to all of us there. You could literally ping me on Discord. Now, like a lot of moderators, like don't ping him, but me, you could ping me on Discord, because I do want to answer your questions. It's part of my, it'll be my pleasure to do so. I'm telling you, I might not know all the answers, but this is going to be awesome. So with that being said, definitely join the stream tomorrow. I shared the link for you in the chat. And I just want to say thank you so much, wherever you are. I hope you have the best, most beautiful day, evening, or if it's nighttime, you should be sleeping and watch this tomorrow. But thank you so much. Thank you, Simon, for joining us. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for helping us out. And we'll see everyone on Discord. Take care. Bye.
Bye.